Tracking boar. Well, boar are a lot tougher. You can be guaranteed you're going to get a lot longer tracks over really tough terrain. They love hard cover. They often run into cover, turn left, run 250 metres, run 200 metres, come back to the right and lay right opposite where they came in. And watch that hole where you're going to come. The minute they see you coming in there, then they're off. And then they don't stop for hours. Often with boar, there's a lot of blood at the beginning of the track, but because the skin is really tough and gristly and there's this special fat to protect it, it plugs the hole up real quick. So they do bleed, but not like a deer does. A deer is a much softer skinned animal. You can guarantee it's mostly going to be a long search, and boar really do require being tracked by specialists. If you think that you're going to risk it, don't be upset when you get your femoral artery opened up or your dog disemboweled in front of you. That's what they do. You've got to be prepared and trained for very complicated tracks. Many circles, back tracks, crossing tracks. They lie down, get up, run round 20 times and then go again, making it very complicated. Boar are very defensive, very aggressive. The handler really does need to be in charge, assess the situation, and at the end of the track, be ready to react. Any kind of hesitation will usually end up with you ending up in hospital or worse. All handlers require training and experience in this, and the use of proper and safe equipment. As we said, many scent hounds get injured. There are 750 trained handlers in the KVGS with hounds. 10% of their dogs get killed every year. That's what happens with boar. They don't take prisoners. Again, be prepared for very long, strenuous tracks. My friend and mentor Reinhard Scher, maybe a month ago, tracked a Kyler in the Palatine for 3 days, shot in one leg, did 3 days tracking, did 58 kilometres and still couldn't get the boar to stand to bay. I did one last year near Berlin in East Germany, 17.5 kilometres, and we couldn't even get near it. And they are extremely tough. You often end up in thick crops of oilseed or maize and huge clumps of gorse or blackthorn. So if you haven't got the proper equipment, a safety helmet with a visor, if you're on your hands and knees with your tracking rifle and a boar's charging you, you've nothing else to do but fight. Tracks are often complicated and in thick cover, extremely dangerous. Even a little boar, a freshling like this, can unzip you in seconds. You can have terrible injuries to your legs, thighs, so you do need to wear protective equipment. And if you think you've got a set, get into thick cover and try and finish this one off. If you aren't trained and your dog isn't, there is no dog that can bring that down on his own. He has to hold him to bay and be in front of him at the boar. If the boar turns to you, the dog must attack him from behind to keep his attention so that you can get the chance to finish him off safely. Now we go to our breeding. There's a bitch with her litter. There's her family. And the training starts from them being puppies. You'll see that again. They need to be socialised and acclimatised to wild boar from before their eyes are open. If you don't train your dog to the scent of boar before its eyes open, and for that first year of its life, instinctively, in its breeding, in its history, it knows boar are dangerous. When push comes to shove and you're in a tight corner, that dog will back off and leave you to it, because it knows boar will kill it. So we train our dogs to the scent of boar from before their eyes are open. Every day they need to have in the kennel near the bitch the scent of wild boar. So it becomes to them second nature. It's something they've got used to and they're not frightened of. They're not gun dogs, so we don't train them like a gun dog. We don't train them to the whistle, we don't do strict leash work. They have to be individual, they have to be confident, calm, but not sit, stay, go left, go right. These are a tracking dog. They need to be tenacious, use their initiative and never stop. So we don't, most of our hounds don't come just at the whistle, they come when they feel like it, which can be a problem if you're not watching them. As I say, we start before their eyes are open and right through their puppyhood with the bitch, we stimulate them to the scent of boar and to water. It's a gradual progression, and then we have to continue that right through their 8 weeks with the bitch. Training equipment is basically anything to do with body parts for deer and boar. This is stimulating the litter altogether to not be worried about water. We have a roe deer's leg here, encouraging them to come into water because they're not. The KBJs or BJ's hounds are not water dogs, so we have to acclimatise them to want to work in water, which they will do quite happily when they're with their brothers and sisters. That was my pup, and there's his piece of wild boar that hangs in his kennel every day, just out of reach of him, but it's there, the smell of wild boar every day. Toy time, playing with your pals, get used to them, not be frightened of them, but they also are investigating, and they're also competing with each other. They're not scared of the boar now. We teach them to bay, not to grab hold and attack. That's my dog. We're teaching him to bay a moving head. Anytime a deer or boar moves, the dog should stand back and bay. Our training and safety equipment, which is compulsory on the continent if you're tracking boar. You need your Kevlar lined trousers, gloves, goggles, safety jacket, high vis, and a shortened tracking rifle. That's 8x57. We all prefer much heavier calibers. We're not shooting at distance. Often it's less than 5 metres. So you don't need a light, fast bullet. You just need something that makes quite a good hole. We use special ammunition that doesn't exit, that blows up inside the animal, kills it much quicker, especially boar. That's my hound there, just with his harness on. But when he's tracking boar, roebucks, even muntjac, he has a Kevlar vest. And that, even as you know, muntjac can unzip a dog, but you've got to give your dog as much protection as you can. You're a team, and he's there to protect you as well. If not, you end up with a very dead dog very quick. These boar aren't there to play with. They're not like a deer flopping about trying to get away from you. They will come out of there wanting to fight. When the dog's on the free run, we use now with modern telemetry, the Garmin, and this is a satellite tracker and can work out to 12-20 kilometres if the terrain's right. Even in the mountainous terrain of the Palatine, I knew my dog was 10 kilometres away, holding a red hind to bay that had been shot in the leg. And so you've got to get yourself 10 kilometres as quick as you can, and that isn't easy in that terrain. We train using scent shoes, which you've maybe seen on our stand. They clamp to your boots, you put the deer's cleats in, and off you go. You start with a strike point with a few bits of bone, a few pieces of hair, and off you go. And we start with a little bit of blood when we have our puppy, but we soon eat that out to no blood. We need the dog to track that one scent from that animal. It's an individual animal, just like we are. These are blood bottles, just to put one drop down occasionally. Marker tape, when you're tracking even on a natural track. When you find a splash of blood on a branch, you hang a piece of tape up. If you lose the track after 500 metres, you can always come back to the tape. It's much easier thinking which bloody tree was it. These are just the lighter collar type tracking equipment, okay for puppies, but we prefer the harness. Some people have a little pouch to put tape in, but these tracking jackets have special pockets. First aid kit goes without saying. Our Hounds Association was founded in 2012. Our constitution is based on the German system. Our rules are the German club rules. Not that we're trying to be elitist, but we're trying to work to a much higher standard than has been done before. We want our dogs to, we want to be able to say that our dogs have proven themselves to an exceptional standard. We are supported by the KBGS, and because we are new, I am a KBGS member, we have 3 in our association, and a Baron Hirschman, the Hanoverian Society member. We have 8 members who all wish to attain KBGS Schweichenführer or Baron Hirschman Schweichenführer in the end, you know, with all their efforts. Our aims are to improve training and understanding and to aid people to recover wounded or lost deer or boar. We do not do this for money. We don't do stealing of stalking. It's ethical. We all have many years in the stalking game. Our code means we never criticise the hunter. It's strictly confidential. We don't go to the pub and say, cool, we've been out there again. We are there for the benefit of the deer and the boar. We want to track. We do it for free. We do it with trust and respect to end suffering, but the handler must be in control when he gets there, for his safety, your safety, and the safety of the hound. Our motto is to strive, to seek, to find, and never to yield. And that's the face of success. A 48-kilometre track in the mountains. That there is the road way down in the valley. Stag shot in the top of the foreleg. That track took 3 days. How many people would stay with that animal for 3 days in the UK? That is satisfaction. You've ended the suffering for that reason. That is our aim. Here are some pictures. It will just keep scrolling through to show you a few different scenarios. This was a buck that had been shot by a stalker in the back leg and then just left. He just forgot about it. And he was on the next man's ground and he shot it. The Hanoverian holding a wounded calf to bay, and this is what we do. Our dogs are trained to hold them to bay so that we can get in and end suffering. So I would like to thank you for your patience. Hope you've enjoyed the talk, and if there's any questions, fire away.